Good morning. See a couple of people already here. Happy Saturday. Welcome, welcome. If you wouldn't mind, oh, hi. Hello, Chris. I was just going to say, if you have the chat available to you, please just send me a little note and let me know you're out there. Maybe if you have practiced with me before or this is your first time practicing with me, let me know. If you're not in Texas area, Austin area, let me know where you are. I'm nosy that way. I just like to just get a sense of where everybody is and sending that energy out. Good morning. It is a gloomy day at my house today. So we'll bring the energy. Well, I'm kind of low energy. Good. Chris, you're in Texas. Awesome. Welcome. I am too. So yeah, sometimes when this energy is, or the weather is out kind of gloomy, I think I'm solar powered. I think that I love to have sun to just kind of bring that energy. I'm from San Diego originally, and so I'm kind of super spoiled when it comes to weather. Although I do hear that in San Diego recently, it was quite cold. It was a cold, wintry weather that they weren't expecting. I have a lot of family and friends still there. And if you are in San Diego, how's your weather out there? It's probably good, right? I mean, even when it's not so great, it's still nice. All right, so we'll get started here in a couple of minutes. I would recommend having a couple of blocks handy. If you don't have any blocks, no worries. It's fine. Just maybe something to place your hand on if you need it. Like some people don't like to use blocks at all. I like to use all the props that I have available to me. Also, maybe a blanket to pad the knees. We're going to be doing some floor work today. And anything else you'd like to have. I mean, eye pillow during our sound bath at the end. Tea, if you have, I'm drinking some lemon ginger tea. Oh, and it's Yogi tea. Yogi tea always has these little quotes on the tags. Lift up others with your peaceful presence. Oh, I love that. That's really cool. All right, so we're going to get started. If you are just joining us, welcome, welcome. My name is Christina Ortega, and today we are going to be working through an energizing, yet kind of chill flow. I don't know how to describe this sort of flow today. We are going to be working with some twisting poses that help to energize the body, but also some longer holds towards the end of our class, more akin to yin yoga. And yin is, if you've never practiced yin before, yin is a practice where it is the opposite of a flow practice, and hence the name yin yang. Yang energy is very much that flowing that I love to practice, but we need to find that balance every once in a while and also practice the yin energy. And yin is where, you're going to hold the poses for a little bit longer than you would in a flow practice. And that allows the body, the connective tissues to really kind of settle in deep. And usually those poses are practiced at the end range of motion. And so it's helpful to have some props nearby just to help create that support for your body. All right. So another thing that we're going to add in a little, we're going to sprinkle into practice today is a full moon. Tomorrow is the full moon. And so you might be feeling a little bit more energetic at this time of the month. And that's with good reason, because the full moon does bring out, that's the peak of energy and in the lunar cycle. And so we are going to kind of celebrate that too. And I kind of hinted at it before. We're going to be flowing through an energetic flow, but kind of balancing it out as well. And moon salutations, usually practiced around the full moon, will be practiced. I'll add that in. And it's fun. It's fun. It's a fun flow. If you've never done moon salutations before, there's a couple of videos I think that I posted on this channel where we practice some moon salutations. So if you're interested in doing that, there's a full moon practice on here. But we're just going to add it in. We're going to use it for more of a warm up. And what I really love about it is you don't really have to be on your wrists a whole lot for moon salutations. And so if, especially if you're newer to yoga and you're not used to being on your hands, or even if you practice all the time, our wrists are really, we're expecting our wrists to be like our ankles. So, if you look at your ankle joint compared to your wrist joint, this is a lot more substantial. So anyway, all that to say, I'm really chatty. The tea is kicking in. Welcome if you're just joining. Hi Patty, good to see you. I know I can't see you, but I know you're here, so welcome. Get settled into your space. I am going to be playing, as I mentioned earlier, my sound bowls. Well, you can't even see them. I'm in the way. Let me move out of the way. Here they are. I also have my crystal bowl out to the side. I'm also, here you go. Here's my crystal bowl right there. I'm also adding in a new instrument. I got this instrument a couple weeks ago. This is called a hang drum. It's a tiny version. Usually they're really big and you can play them with your hands. I ordered this one because I just wanted a little guy to kind of play around with. And this one you can play with your fingers, but I actually like to play it with my little mallet it came with. And it just has a nice little tinkling sound. So you might hear that at some point during our sound bath later on. All right, so get settled into your space. Start out however you would like. And we'll get going here. You can come lying on your mat. You can stay seated. And just maybe allow the eyes to close here if you want. And begin to come into the breath. Letting the shoulders relax. Releasing the jaw. And checking in with how you're doing today. When someone asks you, how are you? And you say in response, I'm good. That's good. Sometimes we don't want to engage in a conversation that's deeper than that, but I want you to answer that question more deeply. How are you today? What is needed? What is your reason for stepping onto your mat today? Taking this time to follow along in this practice. And that reason can be as simple as I just want to breathe. Breathing intentionally. So let's start there. following the path of the breath in through the nose and following its path all the way down into the chest, the rib cage, the belly. And then following the exhalation back out in reverse. You might notice a difference between the inhale and the exhale, other than the obvious, right? But maybe on the inhalation, the breath feels cool within the nostrils. And then the exhalation, maybe a little bit of warming sensation as it leaves the body. And if it feels natural to you, perhaps begin to deepen that breath, allowing it to expand the rib cage even more, the belly even more. And what happens if you expand the breath all the way around to the back body? What does it feel like to expand the breath in the low back? If you're lying down on the floor, this sensation might be a little bit easier to connect with, but wherever you are, I'm seated. So just notice, maybe even placing your hands on the low back. Are you able to send your breath to those areas? And just feeling whatever's coming up for you. If any thoughts, any plans for the rest of your day kind of are tapping at the window of your mind, acknowledge a little wave and then just let it go. Coming back to the breath and any tensions that you'd like to set for this practice today. During the full moon time, it's a good time to practice gratitude, to celebrate how far you've come, and really honoring your own vitality. And this pairs perfectly with this springtime. We had the equinox a week ago, the spring equinox. And with that comes new growth, not only in the natural world, but within. All winter long, we've been holding on to our energy, conserving our energy, saving up, planting seeds. And now here's the time to begin to cultivate and to grow those seeds. So using this practice today to clear any stagnant energy, any resistance, and to really celebrate and enjoy your own vitality today. And with that, wherever you are, any intentions, any wishes or dedications, prayers that you would like to set for your practice today, let's gather that in. Reach your arms overhead. If you're lying down, extend them overhead. Join the warmth of your palms together and pull that gratitude into your heart center. Beautiful. And from wherever you are, if you are seated, go ahead and stay there, maybe adjusting your seat. If you're lying down, slowly make your way into your Sukhasana. I'm going to move my computer screen so that you can see me a little bit better. Move all my tea and my water and all the things that I'm going to need over here. So you get a wider view of everything. So go ahead and just readjust. If you were seated, go ahead and maybe switch the crossing of your legs and just rolling from side to really connect the sit bones down into the earth. Gently placing your hands on your knees, take a deep breath in, open through the heart center, lift up the gaze, squeeze the shoulder blades together on the back, really expanding across the heart space. On your exhalation in reverse, rounding the back, expand the shoulder blades away from each other, tucking the chin towards the chest. We'll move that way a few more times. Inhale, open through the heart, lifting the gaze. Maybe taking more breath in here. Exhale, rounding the back. Tuck the chin. One more round, just like that. Inhale to open up. Exhale to round. Return to a neutral spine, sitting up tall. Inhale, arms reach. Finding length all along the spine, maybe kind of stretching and reaching like you're trying to touch the ceiling here. On your next exhalation, a nice gentle twist over to the right. Bring your left hand to your knee, right hand behind the back. Press down through the sit bones, down through your right fingertips, finding length through the crown of the head. Soften the shoulders out of the ears and bring your gaze wherever it feels best for your neck. Continuing to breathe warm and wide into the belly. Checking in once again with the jaw. On your next breath in, arms reach back up through center. Again, find that length, stretch and reach. And on your next exhalation, twisting over to the left. Right hand on the knee, left fingertips behind the back. Soften the shoulders down out of the ears. Again, gazing wherever it's most comfortable for your neck. Deep breath, inhale. Exhale, unwind, return through center. One more time, arms reach up. This time, walking your hands forward, rolling over the knees, making your way into a tabletop pose. I have a blanket underneath my knees just for a little softness here. And from here, just go ahead and shift forward and back. Sliding forward, I mentioned those wrists. We sometimes use our wrists quite a bit in our yoga practice. So just shift forward and back to warm them up a little bit. Pausing in the center, take your fingertips and turn them to the left and right side of your mat and begin to just sway from side to side. Very small movements here. Beautiful. And then coming back to center, turn your fingertips. So now they're facing towards your knees and the thumbs are facing now the left and right side of your mat. And again, we'll shift forward and back. Check in with those elbows. Maybe add a little softness there. Beautiful. Then from here, very slowly peel off. Keep the fingertips connected to the earth as you very slowly peel off the palms and come to sit on your heels. Gently roll out those wrists. I know it's tempting to kind of shake everything like a wet dog, but just, be easy on yourself and massage out those forearms. That reminds me, I had a dream last night that I had a dog, like a big black lab, and it was really friendly and kind. I wonder, there's some dream symbolism in there, I'm sure. Anyway, come back onto your hands and knees into your tabletop pose. And we'll take the right footprint up to the sky. And just begin to draw some circles here with that knee. Trying to keep equal weight in both hands so we're not leaning very heavily over to one side. Good. From here, keep your right knee out to the side. Extend the leg long. Maybe add some pulses here. If that's not feeling good for you, you can always just land your foot down or keep your knee bent. Your choice. Take your foot all the way down to the floor so that the toes are facing in the same direction as your fingertips. Keeping your right hand where it is. Inhale, left arm reaches up any amount. Exhale, thread the left arm underneath the right. Come down to your left shoulder, left temple. Right hand can stay where it is, or maybe the right arm reaches around the back. Wrap the right shoulder up. If this is really not great on your neck, you can always put a pillow or a block underneath your head. Continuing to breathe into the belly here, even though we're kind of in an inversion, can you still send your breath down and wide into the belly? One more breath here. And unwinding, bring your right hand back in front of the face. Unwind just as you entered, left arm reaches. Return through center. A little cat and cow here, softening the elbows, lift the heart forward. As you exhale, press into the earth, round the back. Good. Come back through center. Set the hips back with that right leg still extended into kind of a half child's pose here. Maybe feeling a stretch along the inner right thigh. Make your way back up to your tabletop pose. Take your right leg, sweep it all the way back and around behind you, over to the left. Peek around your left shoulder towards your right heel. Press your right heel away and grow longer along the right side of the body. Sweep that right leg all the way around. Bring your toes towards the top edge of your mat. And then again, sweep that right leg all the way back and around towards the back left corner of your mat. Peek around your shoulder. And sweep that right leg all the way around towards the top edge of your mat, as far as it'll go. One more time. Sweep that leg all the way around. Ooh, I hit my screen there. Good. This time we'll keep the right leg where it is. Walk your hands back with those legs crossed. Come all the way to seated. Left leg over the right. You can come onto your left foot here if stacking the knees doesn't feel good. If this is not working at all for you today, you can always just come into an easy seat. But if you're here with the left knee over the right, you can adjust here so that the sit bones are kind of settled down into the earth. Take a deep breath in, arms reach. Exhale, walk your hands forward any amount. Sometimes it's helpful to have a block nearby just so that you have an anchor point. And we'll stay here for a few deep breaths. Meanwhile, checking in with the shoulders, the jaw. Take one more deep breath here. And release. Bring your block, if you were using one, off to the side. Walk your hands forward. Taking that right leg all the way back out to where we began. And come up to this half kneeling pose. Adjust your yoga pants. Right hand comes down to the right leg. Left arm reaches up and over, gate pose. This is a beautiful lateral side bend, which I always love to practice. Flax seed on my toe. I snack in this room all the time and it shows. Finding crumbs everywhere. Come all the way back through center. Spring cleaning is in order, I think. Right arm reaches up to the sky. You can keep your right leg just as it is, or maybe lift it up into our half plank pose, or side plank variation, I should say. Another option here, if you want to, is to reach around for the foot and open the heart forward, maybe bringing the head back in space to really create a bit of a back bend here. And release. Walk your hands all the way forward. And set that right knee back, maybe coming into a child's pose or moving through a few cat and cows, whatever feels good for you right now. Just resetting here before you move on to the other side. And here's hoping that I remember all the things we did on the first side. We'll see. You know, sometimes when I don't have people that I'm actually talking to and they don't tell me, hey, you forgot this thing, Christina. I'm sorry. But anyway, we'll see where it goes. Okay, coming back to our tabletop pose. Taking your left footprint up to the sky and begin to draw some circles here. Yeah, this feels right. And then from here, taking that left knee out to the side, maybe extending the left leg. Look how far I'm leaning into the right hip, right knee here. Maybe even things out, little pulses. You can always keep your knee bent or just simply place the foot on the floor. You can skip this part if you want to. And placing that left foot out to the side so that the toes are facing forward. But keep the left hand where it is. Right arm reaches up any amount. Exhale, thread it underneath. Your left arm come down to your right shoulder, right temple, or bring your head to a block. Left hand can stay where it is, or maybe wrap the arm behind the back. Wrapping that left shoulder up as you tuck the right shoulder under. Continuing to breathe into the belly here, even though we're upside down a bit. Beautiful. One more breath. If your left arm was tucked behind you, unwind. Bring your left hand back in front of the face. And reaching that right arm back up to the sky. Come back to your tabletop variation. We'll move through a few cat and cows, lifting the heart forward. Exhale, press into the earth, rounding the back. Good. Come back to that neutral spine. Now, if I remember right, this is where we do the sweepy leg thing, right? Okay, so take your left leg, I don't know what it's called, left leg, and sweep it all the way over to the right, pressing back through the heel. Take a peek around your right shoulder and stretch the left side body. Nice, and again, sweep that left leg all the way around. Bring the toes to the upper left-hand corner of your mat. They're not going to be on the mat probably, but just reach for that corner. Good. And then take that left leg all the way back over to the right, peek around your right shoulder, stretch the left side body. Last time, take your foot all the way up and around as far as it'll go. Nice, and then take that leg all the way back and around to the right, press through the heel, take a peek. This time we'll keep that knee, or that leg rather, right where it is. Bend into the knee, walk it back. Come to seated. So now the right leg is crossed over the left knee. Adjust as needed, maybe placing your foot on the floor or untangling the legs a little bit. Your choice. We'll take a deep breath in, arms reach up. Exhale, walk your hands forward any amount, maybe grab a block if you want to. Finding length along the spine. Try not to round too much here. See if you can lift the heart forward, keeping the spine long, anchored through the sit bones. Great, come all the way back up to the top. If you were using a block, place it off to the side. Walking your hands forward, sending your left leg straight out to the left once again. Come all the way up to that half kneeling pose. Left hand rests on the left leg, right arm reaches up and over into your gate pose. Wrapping the right shoulder up. Maybe soften through the left elbow. Try not to put a whole lot of pressure on that left hand. Stay light here. Beautiful. Come all the way up to the top. Bring your right hand to the floor. Left arm reaches into our side plank variation. You can stay right here or maybe lift the left leg parallel to the floor. Another option here is to reach around for your ankle or foot. If that's part of your practice today, you can always skip it. Bringing the back of the head in space if you're here in this side bow pose. Lifting the heart forward. Nice. Release that left foot down. And walk your hands forward. I think, if I remember right, we sat back into a child's pose, maybe. I don't know. It feels right. Let's do it anyway. It's improv here, guys. All right, come on. Let me back up to the top. Bring that left knee in. And take whatever movement or stillness you need. Maybe that's a circling of the hips. One direction and then the other. Maybe it's just holding here in Malasana, child's pose for a few deep breaths. Your choice. And whenever you are ready, we'll meet in our downward facing dog. Take your time. If you don't want to stay here very long, just stay in your child's pose or wherever you are. And when you're ready, we'll step the feet up to the top of your mat. Take some time here, maybe grasp opposite elbows, a little sway from side to side, a little shaking of the head, yes and no. Releasing the hands to the floor. Take a breath, really ground into the feet. Press into the earth, slowly roll up. One vertebra at a time. Flip your hair at the top, arms reach. Turn so you can see a little bit better. Arms can reach here. And exhale, hands come down by your sides. Palms facing forward. Loop the shoulders on the back. Stand firmly through both feet. Press down and wide like you're trying to rip your mat in half. And then from here, we're going to build into our moon salutation. So moon salutation, we want to invoke the image of a moon. So we're going to be moving the body in a lot of different moon shapes. So on your next breath in, arms reach up to the sky. Interlace the fingers, releasing the 2 pointers. Take a breath in. Exhale over to one side, doesn't matter. So I'm going to turn so you can see me a little better. I'm making a crescent shape with my body. Come back through center on your inhalation and exhale over to the other side. Staying soft through the knees. Inhale, come back through center. Float your hands to your hips. Take a quarter turn to either side of your mat. Toes flaring outward, heels draw in. Reach your arms out, 5-pointed star, deep breath. Exhale, bend the elbows, bend the knees. Come into your Asana, goddess temple. Keep the heart open. I'm going to turn so you can see me here. Lift the low belly in, tailbone is long. Knees tracking over the pinky toes. Expand back out into that 5-pointed star. Turn your right toes forward. Angle your left heel back. Float your right hand down to the shin, to the floor. I really like to have a block. So I'm going to bring that block behind my right foot on it, the highest level. Extending the left arm up to the sky. Stacking left shoulder over right into Trikonasana, triangle pose. Gaze wherever you'd like here. If it does not feel great on the neck to bring your gaze to the thumb, then don't do it. You can bring your gaze straight forward or maybe at the right toes. Checking in with the knees, find a little softness there. Reaching through the crown of the head. One more breath here. As you exhale, circle that left arm down and around. And placing the right elbow on top of the right knee. Just bring that left arm, left bicep over the left ear. We're not trying to put a whole lot of weight on that right knee, so stay light here. Use your core strength to keep you lifted. In fact, if you want a little more challenge, maybe even float the hand forward or up like you're holding a beach ball. And I usually tell my students here, sometimes that beach ball begins to feel like a bowling ball. It gets really heavy here. So you're welcome to keep that elbow there. Beautiful. Now, circling that left arm down and around, frame your right foot. Peel the left heel up into a low lunge. Take a breath and wave the spine long. Exhale, walk your hands to the long side of your mat. Flare the toes out and inch those feet in a little bit closer and lower down into Malasana Yogi squat. You can always place a rolled up blanket underneath your heels or come to seated on a block or two, pressing the elbows outward as you hug the knees in. Lift the heart towards the thumbs, relaxing the shoulders out of the ears. Keep the sides of the neck long. Release the hands to the floor. Pick up those hips and walk those hands all the way to frame your left foot into your low lunge. Pivot your right heel down. Lift your left elbow to your left knee, right arm, right bicep over right ear, extended side angle. Again, you can explore here, bowling ball. Keeping that diagonal line of energy from the edge of the right foot all the way up through the crown of the head. Turning this into our Trikonasana, straighten through the left knee. Again, bring a block nearby if you have one. Hand can be on the shin, the floor, or my preference, a block. Right arm reaches, working towards straightening that left leg. But they certainly do not have to be super straight legs. In fact, have a micro bend in each knee. Deep breaths here. Leaning back, magnetize that left heel towards the right foot like you're trying to draw those feet together. There we go. You can feel those muscles begin to fire. And using the right side body, lift yourself up. Flare both the toes outward, 5-pointed star. Bend the elbows, bend the knees. Sit down, keeping the tailbone long, the shoulders relaxed. Beautiful. Come back into that 5-pointed star. Hands come to the hips. And we'll step to the back of our mat. We don't usually travel to the back of the mat a whole lot, so welcome. And we're going to do that same sequence, that same moon salutation, but in reverse. All right, we start the same way, standing tall, Tadasana. Inhale, arms reach, interlace the fingers, reach over to one side, create that moon shape with the body. Return through center and over to the other side. Return through center, bring your hands to your hips, step the feet wide, flaring the toes, heels draw in, 5-pointed star. Bend the elbows, bend the knees, set the hips down, Devyasana, Goddess Temple. Stretch it back out to your 5-pointed star. Angle your right heel back. Turn the toes so they're facing the back of your mat. Float your left hand down to the shin, the floor, or to a block. Right arm reaches, Trikonasana. Bend through your left knee. Place your left elbow on top, right bicep over right ear. Extended side angle. Circle your right hand down and around. Frame your left foot into your low lunge. Walk your hands to the long side of your mat, inch your feet together, lower the hips, Malasana, Yogi squat. You're sensing a pattern here, I'm sure. We're going to do the same on the other side. Bring your hands down, walk your hands to frame the right foot back at the top of your mat. Pivot your left heel down, keep your right knee bent, lift your right elbow to your knee, left bicep over left ear, extended side angle. Reach your left arm to the sky, right hand comes to a block, the shin, the floor, straighten through the right leg, Trikonasana. Using the left side body to lift you back up, flare the toes out, heels draw in, 5-pointed star. Bend the elbows, bend the knees, asana. Beautiful. Reach back out, 5-pointed star. Step it back to the top of your mat. All right, that was our moon salutation portion of this class. Nice. I love that energy. It's a nice, gentle, slow energy, but still we feel like we're ready to go. At least I do. All right, so let's get moving here. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale to fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, plant the hands, step it back into your downward facing dog. Find a little movement here, pedal out the heels, rocking the hips from side to side. Take a deep breath in to soften. Exhale, right leg lifts to the sky. Inhale. Exhale, hug the knee in, rounding the back. Create some room here, really pressing the floor away to step your right foot to your right thumb. Wiggle your left foot out to the side, the left side of your mat, a few inches. Take a breath to ground. Exhale, press into the right foot, roll it up to the top. High lunge. Good. If you're finding yourself a little wobbly, like you're walking on a tightrope, make sure that your feet are on 2 separate tracks. Soften through the left knee. Drop the shin parallel to the floor. Bring your arms parallel to the floor. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, imagine that you're pulling back like a bow and arrow. Open your right arm back behind you. Your heart is twisting to the right. Inhale back through center. Inhale. Exhale, draw that right arm back, twist to the right. Inhale back through center. One more here. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, draw that right arm back, twisting over to the right. Maybe stay here, maybe drop your right hand to the back leg, lift your left arm to the sky. Take your left hand to the floor underneath your left shoulder. Keep your right arm reaching. Dragonfly twist. Keep your right knee hugging in towards the belly. Drop your left knee down. Reach back like you're trying to touch the back wall of wherever you're practicing. Maybe you bend at the left knee, reach around for the foot. Take your right hand down and around and plant your hand inside of the right foot into lizard pose. So here, I'm going to stay for a few deep breaths. Squeezing that right knee in towards the right shoulder. You can stay high on your hands, or maybe if you have a block handy, you can lower your forearms down. Checking in, try not to collapse down. Keep the spine long. Notice where your body's resisting. Check in with that edge of stretch. And we're not going, to full 10 of our range of motion. We want to kind of find that middle ground. So that sensation of about 5. So if it's feeling super intense, then ease up. Maybe come up off of the elbows if you were there. Change something. But if you're here and you're feeling like, okay, all right, I can hang here for a few deep breaths, then stay with it. Oftentimes we like to run away from these sensations. We're like, oh, no. But know that your body's resilient. It's strong. If you're not feeling pain, then see if you can stay a little longer here. Taking one more deep breath. And coming back up into that lizard pose, stepping your right leg back into a down dog. Pedal it out. Feel the difference between the right side of the body and the left side of the body. You haven't balanced things out yet, so let's do that now. Alrighty, coming back through center, deep breath in to soften. Exhale, left leg floats to the sky, 3-legged dog. Take a breath in. Exhale, curl the knee in, rounding the back. Make some room here so that you can hinge your left foot forward into your low lunge. Make sure your feet are on 2 separate train tracks here. Inhale to ground. Exhale, press into that left foot. Slowly roll it up to the top. High lunge. Soften through your back knee so that we have a little bit more space through the low back. Arms reach forward. Take a deep breath. As you exhale, open the left arm behind you so that now the heart is facing towards the left side of your mat. Inhale back through center. Exhale, draw that bow back, open the heart to the left. One more time, inhale through center. Exhale, draw that arm back, reach forward and back. Maybe the left hand touches down here, right arm reaches. Totally optional. Returning through center, lower your right hand down to the floor underneath your right shoulder. Lift the left arm to the sky, Dragonfly Twist. Keep that left knee hugging in towards the belly. Drop your right knee down. Reach your left fingertips back behind you. Option to bend at the right knee, reach around for your foot for a bit of a quad stretch. And if you have your foot grab, go ahead and release. Sweep the left arm around, placing it inside of the left foot for our lizard lunge, where we will stay for a few deep breaths. So this is where that yin practice comes into play. Again, you can have a block if you'd like to move a little bit lower down, bringing your forearms to the block. So finding this edge of stretch. You know, if you had to stay here for the next hour, which we're not going to do, but what if you had to? What would you do? What would you change so that you could maintain this? Maybe it's a softening of the shoulders. Maybe it's gathering in more support for your body, a block or blanket. Maybe it's a letting go of the things that you're holding on to, having to be a certain way or feeling like you're not enough. Trust me, you're here. You're dedicating this time to yourself. You are enough. So occupy this space unapologetically. Breathe. Checking in with the jaw, the shoulders, the breath. Good. One more breath here. If you were using a block, you can place it off to the side. And from here, we're going to take the left leg back into a child's pose. Knees can be together or wide apart. Soften your forehead down on a block or the earth. Maybe bend at the elbows, bringing the thumbs to the nape of the neck. Release your hands forward. We'll return to our down dog. Deep breath in, soften. Exhale, right leg lifts to the sky. On your exhalation, curl the knee over to the left armpit. Extend the right leg straight out over to the left side of your mat, wiggling that left foot behind you and gently lower all the way down. So the right leg is still out to the side. We're coming on to the right hip. And you can stay right here, high with the hands. Or, again, if you have your block, maybe lowering your forearms down to the block or to the floor, wherever you are. Now, if you're here and you're like, this is torture, change something. Maybe bend at the knees. You can maybe come out of the twist a little bit. But if you're looking to add on, maybe left hip angles down, the left shoulder angles down. So we're getting that deeper stretch along the outer right hip. And again, tapping into that yin energy. Yin is very challenging. It's a very challenging practice because in a flow practice, we're in a pose for maybe a breath or two, and then we flow right out of it. So we really don't have to think about it too much. Sure, it's challenging. Sure, there's things about it that are hard, but in a yin, it's more about almost confronting yourself. And sometimes that's hard. But again, welcome yourself onto your mat, into your space. Feel your feels, whatever that is right now. Whatever's coming up, honor it. It's all valid here. Taking one more breath wherever you are. And walking those hands back up. Tuck your left toes under, lift up your back knee. Hug your right knee in and step it into your down dog. Take some time here, pedal it out, or if you want to take a break in tabletop or child's pose, please do so. We have another side to do. And we'll make our way into our downward facing dog. Deep breath in to soften. Exhale, left leg lifts to the sky, three-legged dog. Inhale here. Exhale, curl the knee over to the right armpit. Straighten through the left leg, coming onto the blade edge of your left foot. Wiggle your right foot back behind you, slowly lower onto your left hip. Ooh, this side's a little bit more challenging for me. That's neat. Okay, that's okay. Our two sides are very different. So if you need to practice this side in a different way, then honor that in yourself. Again, I'm going to use a block here for myself, but go ahead and adjust however you need to. If you want to soften this pose, you can bend the knees and come off of that twist a little bit. But if you want to add on, go ahead and keep the legs fairly straight, driving the right hip down, right shoulder forward. Deep breaths. Again, finding that level 5 of engagement. Once again, checking in with the shoulders, the breath. Thoughts that are kind of bubbling up, acknowledge them. Give them a little wave and then send them on their way. Coming back to the breath. Good. One more breath here. And if you're using a block, you can take it off to the side. Tuck your right toes under, picking up the hips. Send the left leg back into a down dog, taking any movement or stillness here. We will meet on the back whenever you're ready. Once you are on your back, hug the knees in. Little gentle rocking from side to side. When we did quite a lot of twisting today, which is great for the body. It helps to energize. It helps to kind of wring out the stagnancy in the body. But we'll do one last gentle twist here. Bring your feet to the floor, hip width distance apart. Hands alongside you. Lifting up the hips a few inches, scooch the hips over to the right, allowing the knees to drop to the left. Nice supine twist. Right arm can extend out from the shoulder. If you'd like to place a block or blanket in between the knees, go ahead. You can keep your gaze up at the ceiling or cast over your right shoulder. Not letting go of that mindfulness of the breath just yet. On your next breath in, return the knees back through center. Picking up your hips, scooching them over to the left a few inches, allowing the knees to tumble to the right. Just as needed, using props here to support you. Maybe the gaze is lifted or cast over the left shoulder. Return the knees back through center. Give yourself a big hug. And if there's any other poses that you need, any other movements that you'd like to take before moving into your final relaxation, please go ahead, feel free. And as you do so, I'm going to set up for our sound bath. Now I realize that this class is running a little bit longer. So know that this class is recorded, and if you would like to come back to it, if you need to leave, go ahead. because I did advertise this class to be an hour long, but just things. Twisting is just so much fun. Lost track of time. But anyways, I want you to get your full practice in. And as you know, I also, or you may not know, but I do record the audio portion of these so that you can have that separately without the audio. Sometimes it's distracting to have, my voice talking. I get that. I hear me. So it's totally okay to want to have a separate audio track, which I'm going to record here. Alrighty, so when you are ready, coming down into a comfortable, supported position. Making sure that you are warm, comfortable, supported. Like I said that before. Taking up some space. Releasing anything that you might still be holding on to, including the control of the breath. Allowing your breath to release and begin to seek out its own natural rhythm. Releasing the jaw. Part the back teeth. Soften over the forehead. Down over the temples. And allow even the eyes to relax and fall away from the eyelids. Finding a place inside that knows peace. Without taking any movement at this time, just simply savor in this stillness for a few moments longer. Bringing your awareness to the body, to the space that you're in. Deepening the breath. In your own time, begin to welcome in gentle movements into the fingers and toes. Gently rock the head from side to side. Many other movements, stretching arms, yawning. Whatever is needed to welcome that energy back into the body. Slowly and mindfully pressing yourself up to seated. Gathering in all the benefits of our practice today. Sealing it into our heart centers to carry with us throughout the rest of the day, to access whenever you need it. And share this beautiful energy for those in this world that need it. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me today. Let me move over to my computer. Thank you so much for joining me. If you were here for this live, or perhaps you're watching this sometime in the future, thank you. Thank you for stepping onto your mat today and again, dedicating this time to yourself. And now you can move throughout the world, hopefully with a little bit more ease, more energy, and more gratitude. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a beautiful rest of your weekend and your day ahead. Bye.